Podcast Rock City.
What's up, everybody? Joe here from Podcast Rock City. And with me this week is Mr. Sonny Hollywood Pooney.
If I lose today, I'm blaming it on my Ace Wings hat here. You like that?
I like that hat.
Bad luck all of a sudden. Mr. Joey Casada.
Yo! What's up, boys?
And the next victim to Sonny Pooney.
The last time we saw each other, we were at a bar in Vegas.
Yeah.
It's true.
Way pre-COVID.
Yes. That's Jared Frank, you guys. Jared is a friend of ours and a listener of the show. He's a friend, really. He's everybody that listens is our friend. But Jared, we've all hung out together. I stood next to him on a Kiss cruise and belted out all my vocals for
the Bruce Kulick show.
Show.
That's why you had to scrap the video. He had a whole video, and it's a shit now.
Yeah, because you could hear me. Oh, that's mean.
Easy,
But Jody's on his way. As usual, he's having problems with his camera. I feel so bad for him.
Can we get a collection up? Come on, we have a lot of fans out there. Can we get a little collection up for Jody? Let's. Oh, we need. My kids get free Chromebooks from school. We can get something for Jody. Come on.
No. He got a new computer. His lovely girlfriend Amber bought him a new computer. I think that it's just having issues with StreamYard. Thank you guys for tuning in. This is Podcast Rock City. We are an hour early today because of there's a Super Bowl playing today, and we don't want to collide with it. Although I promise you that shit show you're going to see this afternoon is going to be way worse than what you're about to. I don't know. I can't really back that up.
Who do you guys got today?
Chiefs 38-31. Brady throws a pick six.
Whoa.
I'm going to go, and this is going to piss off a very close friend of mine, but I'm going to go Tampa Bay 35-21.
35. Wow. Yeah,
He's got it right on the over-under right there. Over-under right now is 57.
They're home. They're
Who
home.
cares?
There's
nobody there.
There's 10,000 fans there.
Yeah, there's fans there.
Whatever.
Okay.
That's more fans than the Cowboys get.
Oh shit! He hit him right in the nuts.
Where are the Giants at today? Oh yeah, they are at home too, huh?
I always watch the first Giants Patriots Super Bowl every Super Bowl Sunday. That's what I'll be watching.
Jared, are you a sports fan?
Yeah, I haven't really paid too much attention this year, but Houston Texans, I've maybe watched one or two games this year, but just hasn't really interested me too much.
Yeah, I watch my team lose every year. It's one of those things that's really fun to do. Anyway, all right, so no Jody. He's running late. I know he had some questions, but for the trivia. So here's the deal. We got Jared here. Every second week of the month, or is this the first week of the month? This is the first Sunday of the month? I don't even know. This is whenever we do it. We do this once a month.
We're very organized.
We are, and we are going to have a Kiss trivia. Sonny takes somebody on every week. He is undefeated in the 320 shows that we have done. What?
That is not. He lost the first episode.
Moops.
No, he didn't.
Moops.
He won.
Yes, he did. Moops did not count.
He won. In the 320 episodes that we've done, and we've had trivia on a number of them, Sonny is 480-1. Let's see. So let's go ahead and do this. Jody, God, I wish he was here because he made us some new right and wrong question buttons. What do I do with my glasses?
Am I crazy? Didn't Sonny lose the last month too?
Moops.
He has
lost
not
the last
lost.
2. Yes, he has.
He hasn't lost. The question what's happened is the questions on my cards had the wrong answers, so the people that were playing
but
against him.
just because Sonny can memorize this Kiss trivia game that was always wrong doesn't mean he wins trivia.
Do I look like a guy that can memorize anything?
I mean, that shows you're the biggest fan. If you can memorize all the wrong answers in that stupid trivia game,
right.
Then more power to you.
True story. All right, Jared, you're gonna go first. You ready?
Yes.
And amazingly, I have misplaced my glasses. First 1 to 5 wins.
Does he have a phone? What does Jared have? Like a phone a friend? What does he have? Anything?
He's not going to need you today. Jared is a drummer in a Kiss tribute band.
Yes.
And the last time somebody phoned you as a friend, you're like, I don't know.
Yeah. And,
No,
hey,
bullshit. I'm the one that got the Moops question right. You son of a bitch.
Hey, Jared, tell everybody what's the name of your 10 different tribute bands.
Well, the Kiss one that everyone would care about is Kiss Alike down here in Houston, but I'm also in a Motley Crue, Def Leppard, Poison, Bon Jovi, Foo Fighters, and a Weezer band. So 7 different bands.
Holy, is that true?
It's true. Yeah.
Wow.
Jared's got his shit going down. Are you just a permanent musician?
No, not at all. I mean, we only play maybe a couple of shows a month. Especially now, it's just really random. We just happened to have played a show last night with the Kiss band.
That's still awesome. All right, here we go, Jared. Are you ready?
Yes.
I got to get my right and wrong things right. These are new, and everybody out there enjoy. What was the name of the first club that Kiss played at, Jared?
Gonna have to say, was it Popcorn or Coventry? What will the trivia card say?
Ha ha!
That's the right way to think, Jared.
Coventry.
Time concentrating. That's
Lord.
the
That's
concentration level here is going to be tough.
Now Sonny's going down.
All right, that's 1-0. Sonny, what year did Peter Criss rejoin Kiss?
What, officially or?
That's what it says. What year?
Okay, we'll go 95.
Poor Vinny. No.
Oh, let's see now. Was it the first time or the second time? But these cards probably came out.
So they don't count the convention.
No, I'm talking about the Aerosmith tour. So these cards probably came out before then. So I would have to say 1996.
What is happening here? Sonny.
I'm good.
2-0. He'll crumble. Don't worry. Let's see.
It goes to me now, right?
Yes. What was the number of shows on the Destroyer tour?
Who wrote this? Sonny? 47.
I don't have a clue.
At least with Sonny's game, we'd get a close to. Without
I
going
know,
to
right?
anything.
It's not fair.
Yeah, this question is ridiculous. I
Hey.
mean, come on.
Hey, it's in the thing.
I'll go with 67. I was fucking with you guys there.
So this is fake, right?
He knew.
Your ass knew.
Okay, 2-1. 2-1. It's Sonny's turn. Let's see. Name the songs Gene Simmons spits blood before performing. Name the song.
Yeah, which tour?
Well, okay, hold on. There's 2 songs, so it says name the songs. So you got to name them both. And I'm going to tell you right now that I disagree with this, but this has to do with the reunion.
Shut up.
Listen, this is for the reunion tour, not anything else. Go ahead.
You see, Jared, you see what happens here? Joe wants Sonny to win.
Okay, I'm going to go with 100,000 Years. God of Thunder.
Yeah,
So
I mean, those are the ones that I would have said.
Yeah, but my brain goes to the newer stuff automatically. I only got to see one show of the. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares what I think. Hey, you guys out there watching, thank you so much. I am not looking at the comments, and hopefully Sonny isn't looking at the comments either.
Wouldn't it be awful if Jody, who does all the little tags in between, played a trick on us, and that's really Pooney's ass we see every time?
Dude, if I had that, I wouldn't be here.
Pooney's shaved on and all.
Oh, I'd be selling that. There's no doubt.
All right. Okay, so it's 2-2. Here we go. Halloween ornaments were made in Australia of which 3 Kiss band members, Jared?
Gonna have to go with Paul, Gene, and Ace.
Talk about a fucking slow ball.
It's 3-2. Here we go. Sonny. Let's see. Name the state where Gene Simmons lives.
I mean, give me a fucking break.
Well, yeah. What?
At the time when this game came out, name the state Gene lived in.
Oh, goddamn thing. I'll still go California. I thought maybe that was a trick question.
So it's 3-3. Let's see.
Come on, Jared.
Jared, who was the first drummer in Ace Frehley's band, Frehley's Comet?
Anton Fig.
Damn it, I'm not ready for the booty. Here we go.
I'm sure Karen's happy to hear that.
Sonny loses. Okay. Here we go. Remember that you said that, Sonny. Okay, I want you. So it's 4-3. Sonny, you have to do this to tie, and then hope that Jared misses the question, to win. So here we go, Sonny. In concert, what happens to Peter's drum kit during the end of the song "Black Diamond"?
Wow, Joe. Wow.
They're on the thing. I'm not cheating. I'm just going right down.
It elevates.
Okay, Jared, this is for the win. You ready?
So I don't get to tie even though I went second?
No, you missed one.
No, yeah. Here we go.
But I didn't get all 5 of my questions? That doesn't sound right.
Here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
Take the amount of Kiss records, multiply them times 6. Only official releases on Mercury. Go. No, I'm kidding. That's not a real thing. That's a Sonny Pooty. That's a Sonny Pooty thing. All right, here we go. Here's the question. Shoot. Man, there's a lot of tension here, people. Sonny has never lost.
He loses every week.
He does not lose every week.
He does. He loses every week.
Jared, what is the last track on Lick It Up.
And on the 8th day.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you.
Jared wins.
I was
Holy crap.
waiting for some, trivia card crap that said a different song, and it would have said, "No, Sonny Pooney knows."
No. It would have said, if it would have said like God gave rock and roll to
Right.
you, Joey would have flown down to punch me in the face.
0-3
right.
this year. So 0-3, Pooney.
He hasn't lost. That was the first time. All right, Jared, we don't have Jody here, so you're going to stick around. Is that cool?
Yeah, I got nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
I don't have my life savings on any of these teams that are playing. How much you bet this year, Sonny?
I got a little bit of money.
See, he can't say that.
Point spread. I got a little bit of money on the point spread. Point spread's only 3.
He can't.
And the
say
over-under is at 57.
All right, you guys, thank you very much for tuning in. That was Sonny's monthly trivia challenge. He lost this week to Mr. Jared Frank and Jody. Jody's not Joey Casada, that guy over there. He is thrilled to death. Look at the smile on his face. He just anything. All right, so there's
like I said, it's really not a thrill. If anyone wants to look back, Pooney has lost the last 3 times.
It hasn't happened.
Joe, he's brainwashing you.
He's not brainwashing me. Just keep the checks coming. Let's get to the news.
Podcast Rock City News.
So there is news, and it's basically today. The news of today is Mark St. John's birthday. And, he died way too young. I think he was 51, something like that, which is super sad. Everybody knows his story. It was really terrible. He went as high as you could go and then crashed and burned really bad. And it's really sad because, nobody needs to go out like that, right?
What did he die of again?
From what I heard, he was in prison. There was some sort of fight that involved something like super stupid. I don't even remember what the super stupid thing was. And he got a concussion. And ultimately, that's what he ended up dying of.
Wow.
Was a brain injury. Is that what you guys heard?
I heard about that, but I never actually heard the official release of why he passed away. Maybe one of our listeners knows exactly why he passed away. Regardless, it's sad. It's just one of those things where life is hard. Life is hard, and even
Speaking of life being hard, Jody just sent the message on the chat here. Sorry, guys. This fucking computer is driving me insane. Like, why it's got to be such a bitch? Sorry, I guess I can't do it today. Totally lame. I'm sorry. Jody, have that.
It's okay, Jody. We love you. We'll use Jared here. I'll call him Jody through the whole show. So be prepared for that, Jody. I'm just saying.
Since we're talking about Mark St. John for a second, let's say he doesn't end up joining KISS. Does he take the hard fall that he ended up taking because he continues to be a music teacher, right? Maybe he ends up teaching at one of the music schools. Maybe he ends up in some other band, but it's not KISS. Maybe he starts his own thing, takes off. Like, if you think about it, he joined KISS at 84. Really, everybody and their mother had a band in 88, 89. He could have had one too, probably. Right? So maybe it doesn't happen.
Could have been one of those shrapnel guitar gods type of things.
And when the instrumental albums took off, he's one of the guys that does instrumental albums, and his life is just fine. He doesn't end up being Satriani, but he ends up being one of those other guys.
Well, I can tell you it's a good question, and the answer is probably he's still alive. you join one of the biggest bands in the world, and all of a sudden you're about to go on tour, and all of a sudden all this terrible crap happens to you. You wind up getting replaced. The guy that winds up replacing you stays in the band all the way up until the reunion thing. You start a band. People really, they don't like it. It's not really all that popular at all. Even though you were only in the band for a very short time, you're still that guy who's in Kiss. You can't get rid of it. I would have probably drive me to drink and do drugs myself. When people are like, "Hey man, you're that guy from early Motley Crue," I'm always like, "Yeah, but I'm all good."
Right. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Mark St. John, I don't think
Aquafina.
I think the whole, hand blowing up and all that stuff, I think not that it's an exaggeration. I think he doesn't last in Kiss anyway. I think if they really fell in love with him and they loved everything he was doing, they would have somehow made it work with him, whether it was just having replaced for a little bit, whatever it was. I think by the time his hand was blown up, I think they were done with him anyway. I don't think they had any interest in. It was an easy way out to get Bruce to take over. They saw what Bruce was capable of. Once they saw how easy it was to work with Bruce and how good he was, they were just like, okay, we don't even, why bother with this guy anymore?
Yeah, and it happens in pro sports. Right. Oh, hell, that's how Tom Brady got his job. Bledsoe got hurt, and Tom Brady came in and never went back to the bench.
Weren't they lucky?
Crazy.
Luck, opportunity, whatever, right?
Yeah. Okay, so Jared, what do you think? Oh, I mean Jody. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think he'd probably still be alive, but they just saw how great Bruce fit in, that his days were numbered once they saw how he was fitting in on that European tour.
It's just a sad situation. It was like he was here at a convention in Atlanta and he looked so different. I mean, I kind of, when I go to these conventions, I have a one-track mind. It's really bad, but I remember looking at him and he wasn't anywhere near a sign that said who he was, and I had no idea who he was. I go back now and I realize, damn, that was Mark St. John. It was the same day we had Bill Aucoin and Mark St. John, I think, at the same convention. And I mean, I didn't even go over and meet him. I didn't go over. I didn't say hi. I didn't,
Wow.
I had no idea who he was. And I think he was off to the side. He did look very different. He looked very, very different. One other thing is the man, Star Child, Paul Stanley, otherwise known as that singer from that band. He put out a new single out today. It's called Could It Be I'm Falling in Love? I haven't listened to it yet because every time I click on the link, excuse me, it says that it's unavailable, which means that 1 billion people are watching it. I don't know what it means. Have any of you guys heard it yet?
Well, I've heard the original, but that was it.
Nope.
Before I know Joe has a heart attack, that Facebook will shut us down. So
I'm not having a heart attack.
Well, I just played 20 seconds. And I haven't heard Paul yet. Hold on.
Jared,
I obviously have to listen to the whole track.
Thoughts, Jared?
I'll wait till the record's out. I didn't even listen to that Ooh Child one yet. I'll just wait and digest all of it at the same time, like I did with One for All.
I'll tell you, that Spinner song, it fits better with Paul's voice. I bet you that song is probably better than Ooh Child. That would be my guess.
Well, I'll go and listen to it, and we'll see. All right, so that's the news for this week. If you guys ever have any topics or news that we miss, there's so many things, and I don't report on the little teeny so-and-so says about something about this member, and so, that's just, so I don't even talk about that, but you can send it to podcast rockcity1
That's the number one.
at gmail.com. Let's get to the topic of the week.
Podcast Rock City. Topic of the week.
So this week we're into part 3 of our Kiss by 3's. And, basically what we've been doing for the past few weeks is 3 records at a time. We started with Kiss, worked our way all the way through Love Gun. And then last week, Joey was busy because he had to do a bar mitzvah. And he doesn't like lox and bagels in the morning, I hear. He's like, where's the eggs and bacon? And So we're back to the next 3 records, which are Dynasty, Unmasked,
and Dumpster Fire.
and Music from the Elder, the Masterpiece. You son of a bitch! That was my imitation of Joey.
That wasn't bad. It was weirdly still polite.
It was.
It didn't have the bite it usually has.
I'm not a mean person, except when I am. Let's see. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. First record. Boom. Dynasty. I don't know where I'm going with this. Dynasty. Record album has a million rumors about it. Peter's makeup's wrong. They weren't happy. They were fighting all the time. Gene right there is going, I could use some cookies. I don't know. But yeah, so let's once again, they wasted the back of a record, right?
It's so true.
Just a waste of the back of a record. All right, so Dynasty. Jared, you're our guest. Where does Dynasty rank for you?
I'd probably put it somewhere in the middle. I mean, I'm a one of those fans that likes everything, so I can't really say anything bad about it or anything that's too high of a praise. I'm right in the middle on just about everything.
I gotcha. Sonny.
First makeup album I got. It's in the probably upper third, I would say, because for the most part I like all of the songs. I love the album cover. Peter doesn't seem super happy on the album cover. I think it's all in how you look at the picture. Everybody else is who they are, but Peter doesn't look super happy to me.
And it was most likely airbrushed to make him look as happy as they could too.
Yeah, that's possible too. But
he's probably like,
if you look at some of those outtakes, he's all.
Yeah, but I would say top third for me.
Joey.
Yeah, it's funny as a kid and growing up and stuff. This was always one of my least favorite records. It was always all the way towards the bottom. Over the years, I've definitely come to appreciate it more, just because it is the last of the original 4. So I really, I enjoy it more now than I did as a kid. But growing up, Dynasty was never one of my go-to albums. And the cover, to me, the opposite of what you said, Sonny, I always hated the cover. I thought, number one, Peter's makeup drives me crazy, which I really don't understand, because if you look at some of the outtakes, his makeup, if it's all done on the same day, which I'm assuming it is, the outtakes, most of the makeup is not as uneven as it is on this. It's so uneven. It looks like he has an eyebrow raised almost. It always bothers me. I can't even believe that they let that go like that. And I don't even think it's the makeup done so badly. I think they just maybe took a half of a face from another picture. Does anyone know the details of the album cover?
I read somewhere one time that it's really the angle that's the problem. They said that Peter did his makeup and the makeup was fine, and it's how the shot looks.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, it's so uneven. I mean, obviously, Jared's in a Kiss tribute band. I was in a Kiss tribute band. An angle is not going to cause that much makeup discrepancy. And it just always bothered me. And even just the framing of it with Gene's forehead kind of out of the shot, and, the bottom two, their chins are out. Why not zoom out just a little bit more to see everyone's full face. It just always bothered me. It never was, it just didn't look cosmetically correct to me.
No, I agree. Did you guys know that there's actually a second cover to this record? I bet Jared knew. Jared, did you know that?
Oh, the straight jacket cover.
Yeah. So there.
My God, I love that cover.
Okay,
yeah,
but
that's great.
But here's the okay. So it's important to know that I'm not. Are we talking about the same thing? Where you're right here, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, they're not wearing straight jackets. They're just wearing white jumpsuits or whatever.
Right.
For
Here,
shot.
You will see white. And if you can find that record, it's worth money because there's not a whole lot of them out, which doesn't make any sense to me. How did that happen? It went out, oh, hey, look, you can see the white jumpsuit. Scrap those and go shoot it again or take another. It doesn't make any sense to me. So also we get the beginning of what in this? Super Kiss.
Yeah, I mean, again, to me, coming off the 4 solo album covers, which to me are absolutely gorgeous. Obviously it's painting, so the makeup is so perfect and the framing is so perfect, especially when you put the 4 of them together. This just looks like it was thrown together in 2 seconds to me.
There's your shot with the chin showing.
Yeah, much better. And
It's
I can't tell because there's a glare, but is Peter's makeup the same?
Yeah, it's still raised up, but
It's
that's
still
the 8
uneven.
track.
Wow.
But that's the 8 track where they use the less cropped version.
But why wouldn't they do that for the album?
I don't know. Maybe just to make it even more larger than life looking on a big thing. Be my guess.
Crazy, yeah. I guess so.
Okay, this is not going to be a popular take. Just go with me here. Remember when I get into the band, right? So we're talking here mid 80s. Going back and trying to, and discovering what's going on. The Super Kiss thing is interesting. It is borderline ridiculous, though. The capes, come on, right? Like that's like you want to be taken seriously. You don't want to be a kiddie band. You don't want to be a cartoon character, but you put on capes. Like I don't.
Now,
am I the only one that thinks that's ridiculous?
Gene had a cape early, though. He had a cape before this. Not on stage, but in photo shoots.
Yeah, all the way back to Hotter Than Hell, Gene has a cape. Yeah, I mean, I disagree, Sonny. This is actually my favorite. I know this is probably an unpopular choice too, but it's my favorite costume era. I love this stuff. It's probably because this is when I became a fan. I saw them on the Dynasty tour. I love that larger than life feel. And I disagree. I think, Kiss loves to rewrite their history. I don't think they didn't want to be a kiddie band. I think that's exactly what they wanted. They wanted to have mass appeal, whether it's with I Was Made for Loving You or the superhero looks or the comic books and the costumes and the makeup and the toys. They wanted all that. It was only in hindsight that they said, maybe we went too far.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Jared, do you like the capes and the Super Kiss thing?
Yeah, just because that was when I became a fan too. I didn't go to the Dynasty tour, but I remember seeing the commercial for it, the tour coming to when I lived in Pittsburgh at the time, and seeing them on 2020. That was my first real seeing them on TV was the 2020 thing. I liked it, but it's definitely ridiculous. But more in hindsight that I loved it when I was a kid though.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's one of the things. Maybe it's possible that they were smarter than, because truthfully, when Dynasty came out and that new look happened, you did get an entirely new crop of younger kids now that would follow the band as they grew older. The next thing, what was the next thing that they could have possibly become was like, something for little Teletubbies. That's what you get, Joe,
those posters behind you. Oh my God. Look at those posters. They're superheroes. I know it's Super Kiss, but they're larger than life. To me, it's incredible. I love it.
Yeah, see, and to me, kind of going back, I'll take those 4 Love Gun pictures over those 4 any day.
Yeah, but you got into him in 1984 or whatever.
Yeah,
so it's just a different
yeah.
perspective.
It's just different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Want to do track by track?
Let's do it.
Okay. So the track listing on the back of this is wrong too, right?
That's right.
It's not in the shape of a dick, though.
Good point.
Well,
No,
on my CD, I think it's right. Yeah. I wonder what is it?
So on the record, it's Charisma, Dirty Living, Hard Times,
Whoa.
I Was Made for Loving You.
That's in alphabetical order.
Alphabetical order.
Yeah. Magic Touch, Save Your Love, Sure Knows Something, X-Ray Eyes.
Show it to me, Joe. Let me see. Maybe it does look like something.
Yeah, it looks like I don't know, an arrow.
Yeah, well.
Well. All right. So Joey,
right.
go ahead. You give us the listing off your CD.
So the first 3, I Was Made for Loving You, 2000 Man, Sure Know Something.
3 classics. You know, I mean, you could hear those. I would love for Kiss to play Sure Know Something live. Man, just having the opportunity to see that on stage on the farewell tour, that would be pretty awesome. I think the other 2 songs we've heard. Thank God Tommy Thayer does not play 2000 Man. There might be
I think
riots.
I'd be okay with him doing that. At least it's not a song written by Ace.
No, I'd be okay with that too, but the problem is there'd be riots.
Oh,
Jared, what do you think of those songs?
Yeah, I love them. We actually play Sure Know Something and played it last night, and people actually kind of dig it. 2000 Man, I would I really like that one. That one's. Did you guys ever play that, Joey?
Yeah, a couple times.
I wanted to, but every single part is like different. It's too much remembering of like this goes 4 times, 5 times. But yeah, I think it's a great song.
Jared, what era costumes do you guys wear?
We're kind of a mishmash. I'm the rock and roll over. Yeah, mostly rock and roll over. The Paul is kind of in the middle. We're all
Gotcha.
we're all getting Love Gun costumes here pretty soon now.
So Joey, what do you think?
Yeah, again, I think great songs. You know, I wish, you know, it's so funny to me looking back at history that they went with Vinnie Poncia on this album. You know, they all obviously shit all over Peter's record. They said it sounded bad. It didn't. The songs were ridiculous. And you know, the whole excuse of we went with Vinnie to please Peter. You know, that's a lie. That's garbage. Come on. So what's the real story of why they went with Vinnie Poncia? I'm assuming because he's a songwriter, they needed poppy songs. They needed help in that genre. I don't think it's for any reason but that. Do you guys have any insight of the real reasons why they went with Vinnie?
I don't know, man.
The appease Peter thing. That's really the only thing I heard.
Yeah.
You guys agree that that's ridiculous. There's no way they're hiring a producer to please Peter Criss at this point.
especially if they're going to have somebody else do the drumming.
Right, of course.
Right, that makes no sense.
Well. According, if you're going to believe it all, you got to believe it all. According to the mouth of the band, Paul Stanley, it was Vinny that said Peter's not good enough to play on this record.
That's what I'm saying. Is that if they're doing it to appease Peter because Vinny's the guy and Peter likes him, they chose somebody that didn't want Peter to play the drums.
Yeah,
right.
It's all of the whole again. When you're the winners, you get to rewrite history, right? So right. Gene and Paul write the history the way they want. They're gonna blame even blame the production of Dynasty somehow on Peter Criss. It's unbelievable.
So that works.
Yeah, I mean, listen, don't get me wrong, but the first three songs, killer.
Great.
Next three?
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
No, Sonny. Sonny has
Sonny.
to go. Yeah, my bad.
Oh, you're getting my opinion. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I Was Made for Loving You, I would say it will be a song that lasts forever. You'll see it in movies, you'll see it TV shows. It'll pop up here and there. There'll be people doing covers of it. It's one of those songs. 2000 Man is the worst Ace song on this album, probably. And I heard the original. The original basically sucks ass too to me, but
That's
this one's
terrible.
this one's fine. Sure Know Something is a hidden gem. Dude, when people don't know Kiss, this is one of the first songs I play them. Because they're really, that's Kiss? Because
Wow.
it's got the I Was Made for Loving You flavor to where it sucks you in, but you don't know it because there's no way you could have heard it if you don't know Kiss. So I love that song.
Yeah. All right. So what's next?
So then we go Dirty Living, Charisma, Magic Touch.
I love Dirty Living. Charisma is got a special place in my heart because of I saw some people perform it live and it was outrageous. And then Magic Touch, I'm not a big fan of that song.
What?
Is that true? Really? Or are you joking?
Yeah. No, I'm not a big fan of that song.
Wow.
Sorry.
Yeah,
All
I mean,
right, everybody's silent. Thanks.
for me, Magic. I mean, I always liked Dirty Living. Magic Touch and Charisma were actually, those were two of the songs that when I was a kid, I never listened to, never went to, but over the years, I think they're absolute Kiss classics. Great, great songs. Obviously, the absence of Gene on this album is weird. You know, Ace is now taken over the #2 spot in Kiss, right? His solo album did so well. He's got 3 songs on this record singing, and Gene has 2. If you would have said that to Gene, you know, in 1975, 76, he would have said no chance. So it's amazing to see the dynamic in Kiss on this record that Ace has more songs than Gene. Insane.
Yeah. I want to say that I've seen interviews with Ace where he brags about it. I have more songs.
Yeah, he deserves to. Yeah.
Here's a comment. David Donnelly says, on Dynasty artwork, I'm sure I saw an interview with Dennis, I think that says Wollock, where he said, despite having an outrageously expensive photographer, there was a lot of alteration done post-photo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I read that too. I remember reading how much, you know, each member made sure that they looked the best on the cover. They all look terrible, I think. It's terrible. I mean, again, the cropping. I mean, Gene's face, Paul's face, yeah, looks great. Ace's hair doesn't look good. Peter looks terrible. The cropping. I mean, you know, at this point, they're just arguing to argue, I think.
It's totally possible. Jared?
I'd say I didn't really like Dirty Living when I was a kid, but yeah, I think I love it now. Charisma, I always love that one. Magic Touch, I don't know, you're crazy, Joe. That is a classic.
I get that a lot.
I wish I could have gone to that Live to Win tour to hear him play it, but
I was there.
Yeah,
I was there. It was good.
And Charisma, I don't know why Kiss doesn't add Charisma to like a cruise set. That would be easy to do.
Yeah, that would be cool. Man, they're listening to you right now, so on the cruise, they'll play it.
Because they played it in the Gene Simmons band, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jared, are you on the next cruise?
Yeah, I've been on all of them.
Oh, okay. Oh, good for you.
Sonny will be there with us, Jared.
Oh, yeah.
I might be
cruise.
too. I might be hidden away underneath Jericho's couch or something from the week before.
I think, man, this would be wonderful. Totally wonderful. Okay, so who is left? Sonny, were you the last one?
Yeah. Dirty Living, over time, I have learned to like that song much more. Charisma, I could take it or leave it. I think both Gene's songs on this album are okay. They're not terrible. I don't skip them, but I don't seek them out either. Magic Touch is an absolute classic. But I've heard other people say, I hate Magic Touch. I'm like, dude, you haven't heard it right then. I don't know what the hell's wrong with you.
I'll go put it on there right now.
Yeah.
Next 3 songs.
Hard Times, X-Ray Eyes, Save Your Love.
I love all three of those songs.
Yeah, for me, I mean, X-Ray Eyes and Save Your Love I think they were the reason why I didn't like this album as a kid. Never liked either one of those songs. I've learned to appreciate them over the years. I think Save Your Love is the weakest Ace song, period, in the Kiss catalog, just because of the chorus. Never cared for the chorus. Gene's X-Ray Eyes is pretty weak too. Hard Times, on the other hand, is an absolute gem, I think.
Jared?
I hate going after Joey because I've got the same exact opinion right there. Save Your Love is I think that's the worst Ace song out of all of them that are under the Kiss moniker. Hard Times, of course, is great though. X-Ray Eyes, it was always kind of could care less about it, but it's fine.
Sonny's laughing at you right now.
I love the Under the Kiss moniker because he's remembering Juvenile Delinquent and Dolls and some of this other stuff that's out there.
Exactly.
Oh, I love Dolls.
I love Dolls too.
I love that song.
Great song. The demo is even better, but they're great.
Stuff off Anomaly and Spaceman, maybe.
There you go.
There you go.
But I'll take Dolls over Save Your Love any day.
Sonny.
Like I said, X-Ray Eyes to me is the weakest song on this album. Like I said, I don't skip it though. Hard Times is awesome. Save Your Love, I did feel like you two at the beginning when I first heard it, but then after getting used to Ace's voice and who he is, then you go back and kind of listen to it like after Comet and Second Sighting came out. I'm like, oh, okay, that's just Ace being Ace. It's all right. I don't mind it.
But that doesn't mean when I heard Ace do Save Your Love on the cruise, I wasn't fucking flipping out. This is amazing.
Did he say the right words though?
I don't know.
30%.
He had a problem that weekend, didn't he, Jared?
Yeah.
He had a brand new band. They were only together like 18 minutes before they got on stage.
And they knew the song.
The band knew how to do it.
They knew
It's true.
song.
Ace needs a monitor.
Yeah, they just need a real what do you call it? The monitor thing.
TV screen with the lyrics help him.
Yeah, because I mean he had the lyrics down there. They're just on a piece of paper that's like 6 feet away from his 70-year-old eyes. He needs that teleprompter. And then
Good point.
Been fine, I think.
What's left?
That's it. That's the whole record.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so after Dynasty, no costume change. We got Unmasked.
Now, first question is, why do you think that is? I mean, Paul's costume changed. I mean, their costume changed
a little bit.
Slightly. I mean, the regular eye wouldn't notice the changes, but the Aces is pretty much the same. Gene and Paul's change a little bit.
I mean, that's kind of like what they had been doing because, Destroyer, Rock and Roll Over were basically the same with little tweaks.
Right.
Love Gun, Alive 2 were basically the same.
Yeah, good point. I didn't think of that. You're right.
So it's just their 2-album cycle. They'll keep the costumes around, I think.
Not only that, but if you're not going to tour the States, basically, then it's like, well, we're wasting a bunch of money and a look for what?
What's everyone think of this cover?
The cover. I love the cover.
I like it. I've never had a problem with the cover. I don't care about, the whole, I still think they stink, blah, blah, blah. I love that it's like a very cartoon strip type cover because I'm a comic book guy.
Right.
Yeah, I'm a big comic book collector, and I'm on the other side of the fence. I never gravitated towards this cover. I liked it. I wish it was the back cover or the insert. I think it's a cool back cover or insert. I just feel like, I don't know, it just doesn't captivate you looking at it. You'd have to be a comic book person to even care what this cover is. It doesn't say anything. And even the title, to go with a title like that, you got to unmask. I don't think the payoff at the end of the comic works.
You guys know, if you listen to early show, maybe, I don't even know, maybe number 10 out of all the shows we did, I told my whole story about being at my grandmother's house and seeing the commercial for Unmasked and how that changed so many things for me. If you get a chance, go back and listen to it on iTunes. It is there. I will tell you that I remember holding this record and really, oh, you know what? We forgot to mention the poster in the Dynasty record. Sorry about that. Poster's classic.
Yep, I had it on my wall as I was a kid.
Same thing with this. I will tell you that I remember looking at you're not even going to be able to see it, but Ace, his costume looks more like wings, man. And
yeah, you're right.
Them up, and they look like wings, which wound up becoming. It still was just a cape, but I thought, man, when I see them, Ace is going to be able to pull out his wings, and they look like big angel wings, and I thought it was just amazing. And I remember being so disappointed that that's not what it was. Although, can you imagine that he's stumbling around and his wings dragging the ground? I got these wings and I don't know what to do with them. You know, it's like, but as far as the album cover goes, I always remember being like, there are certain things on it. Like there's a drawing of Ace right here where it looks like he's just wearing a blue t-shirt. And I never understood that. And even Ace is, it's a good. All right, so let's talk about the poster real quick. Peter's winking. Everybody knows what that means, right? They drew that in there, kind of like Paul walking across Abbey Road barefoot to let everybody know that Paul McCartney was really dead. He still is. There's a alien taking his place. Peter Criss is not dead on the record. Of course, that's stupid. But he was not playing on the record, and that was the artist's way of telling us.
Do we have confirmation of that?
Yes.
It seems like somebody interviewed Victor about that.
We did, yeah.
Was it you guys?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Everybody's interviewed him by now. Yeah. But yeah, that was the whole thing. Unmasked, I remember totally thinking that it was going to be really unmasked. Holy crap.
I bought the album thinking I might see them unmasked when I open up the album. Absolutely.
Let me ask you this, though. Let's say you open the record, right? And there's a poster in there without makeup. How disappointed are you that they've now taken the makeup off?
I don't know. I mean, I was 7 when this came out, so I thought it'd been cool regardless. This was the first record I bought that was actually new when it came out. So I was finally in the real fandom at this point.
I think it would have been funnier if they would have had a poster in there and you unfold it and it's all 4 members with the paper bags over the head, just eyes.
Yeah, why do you think they do? Do they do it just for shock value? Why the name Unmasked? What do you guys think? I've never heard really the backstory of it.
I don't know that I ever heard it either. It's just, look, you as Kiss Dynasty was pretty big for them, but yeah. You want to create even more hoopla. The next record's called Unmasked. People are going to go, are they before they ever get a chance to see the cover, they're going, did they take their makeup off or?
Yeah.
Yeah, but at the very least, you got to give them the suspense of, you don't put the whole story on the front cover then, right?
That's true. Did you guys ever get to see the photos that these drawings were taken from?
Mm-hmm.
Online, every once in a while, somebody will post them. Even the Gene wearing the red handkerchief on his face, and Paul with a girl at a restaurant or going through a door. Or,
oh wow!
There were no pictures of Peter. He had to do that by memory.
Yeah, like the red handkerchief one, that was like an actual photo
with
that was
Cher.
taken just for that. Well, I think there was another one where he was like in a studio and he did that just for a reference photo for that. But then other ones were just random other photos that were used as reference.
That's crazy. Sonny, what do you think? What do you think about this record as a whole?
As a whole, I'm a big fan. This was the first episode I did with Podcast Rock City, was an unmasked episode. I've always loved the album. I think as time has gone by, there's more and more of the Kiss Army that gives the record a break. I agree with and have said myself that you hand most of these songs to somebody else, they make them huge hits. And because it's got the Kiss moniker on it, they didn't get the hits. But yeah, as a whole, I really like this album.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, so came with the poster, came with a order form for stuff. You know, at this point, Kiss is it's like a store. You just open up the record, and it's buy stuff. Let's go through the songs. You got them, Joey?
I got them. So first three, Is That You? Shandy, Talk to Me.
All right, I'm just going to say this now. First song to last song, nothing wrong with this record as far as I'm concerned. I would put this up against most pop records and go, I could listen to this every day just like I could listen to pick a pop record. Or an iconic one at that, and I'll tell you that I can tell you that in my personal opinion, this record, let me just pick a iconic pop record. How about like a Madonna, Like a Virgin record? I love that record. This album has more good songs than on that record, as far as I'm concerned.
Jared, go. I don't want to steal your opinion this time.
I was going to say.
So we're just going first three, but yeah, I mean, I love this one. Probably didn't really love it as much at the time, but then again, Kiss could also do no wrong at the time. But so, Is That You? I think that should always be in the set. That is just an amazing opening song. Shandy could give or take that one. It's fine for what it is, and Talk to Me I think is great.
Yeah, I mean, for me, same thing, Joe, like you, top to bottom, one of my favorite Kiss records. And this is a big reason why I love Kiss too. They're so different. When I want to listen to an album like Rock and Roll Over, I listen to it. When I want to hear completely different songs and production and just everything about it, it's almost like a different band. I put on Unmasked, or then you put on The Elder or Creatures, whatever it is. You could always find so much diversity with Kiss. I know people go, this is their pop album and The Elder is this album and blah, blah, blah. That's what I love about Kiss. I love so many different options. The reason why I listen to Kiss probably every day of my life is because I do have all those options. If it was all 70s Kiss or all 80s Kiss, I wouldn't listen as much because there's not. I'm in the mood for something different every day. So, especially these first three songs, to me, Talk to Me is one of the, if not one of the greatest Ace songs. Great solo melody, everything about it, perfect.
Talk to Me, Jared. You and I have been on the Kiss cruises. When they play Is That You, do you pop? Do you like totally lose your mind?
Oh, hell yeah.
And they've done it a few times.
I think no, I was just on that one a couple of years ago.
Well, I thought I heard it one other time, but okay, so they played Is That You, and the only reason why that wasn't the top song is because they ended with I.
Oh, that was that one, yeah.
Yeah. So and we'll get to that. But yeah, Is That You? I love that song. I love the Sydney show where he's like 1, 2, 3, woo! Wow. And they go into, and it's just totally great. Mr. Pooney.
I like all three of these songs. I think Shandy, in all of the other ballads that Paul has written, This one's probably not his best, but I actually really like it. It's just that he's written some really, really good ballads. Talk to Me is classic Ace. I got no problem with it. Is That You? I don't know if you ever heard the demo that Gerard did. Dude, that demo was brutal. That demo is not good. Paul did some magic to that song, I'm telling you.
Yeah, and that was all Vinny Poncia by bringing that demo in, saying, "Hey, I got this thing. I think it'd be better for you guys."
Yeah. This Gerard McMahon, yeah. He ended up making a living like on TV shows and doing theme music and that kind of stuff. I think he had a song on the Lost Boys too, if I'm not mistaken.
There's a comment here, and I want to ask you guys. Here's the comment. Anton Fig was a Kiss member one day till found out he didn't sing. That's what they're saying. Let me ask you this. When you heard this record the first time, now I'm going to be honest, no idea that wasn't Peter. I was only like 9. So there was no way if he was on the record cover, he was playing drums on it. That's how I felt. When you guys heard this the first time, were you like, no way, that's Peter?
I probably wasn't aware at the time, but I mean, there had to have been some point where I figured out Peter doesn't play double bass, and there's double bass at the end of Torpedo Girl. But I don't know when I figured that out, though.
Joey?
Yeah, I didn't know. Obviously, I'm 5 years old at this point. I don't know the differences, but there 100%. Once I became a drummer and I understood who could do what and blah blah blah, I knew none of this was Peter. None of it. You could tell. I mean, it's so obvious. Just even stuff like Torpedo Girl, and there's no way Peter would play any of those licks.
Yeah,
Sonny.
Hard Times he couldn't play too either.
No way. Right.
No way.
Yeah, by the time I get this album, there's already rumors out that Peter didn't play on this album, blah, blah, blah. Those rumors are already out there. And reality is, I didn't care because when I first got into music, the only 2 instruments I cared about was the person who was singing and the person who was playing guitar. And I could really care less about anybody else in the band. When I got more into music later, then I started realizing, man, like not everybody that supposedly is in this band plays these songs. Like I have no idea that they would have other people come do stuff. Like why would you have the person in the band then? And then of course later on you kind of realize it's a business and it is what it is. But
you know what's so funny too about Anton playing all the drums on this record? Of course, as soon as you think of this record, to me that's one of the first things I think of. It's not really all of Kiss because Peter's not on the record. Gene doesn't play bass on this record almost at all. It's so obvious of who's doing what on these records. Ace is playing all the bass on his songs. Gene's not playing any of that. Even on the Gene songs or in the Paul songs, Gene is not playing bass on What Makes the World Go Round. You could tell now that I'm a musician, you could hear the differences in these guys playing. And that's just how it was back then. When these big bands would do separate demos with each other and they would just have other guys play on it. It was just easier.
Now, according to Wikipedia, I have to say that Gene plays bass on Is That You, Naked City, What Makes the World Go Round, She's So European, and You're All That I Want.
so half the record.
I would dispute most of that. Just listen to it. You can listen to the bass playing.
John Harper, who wrote here, as a kid, I would have been devastated as a diehard Kiss fan and finding out that Peter didn't play on the album. Same thing goes for Ace not being on Creatures. Now, by the time Creatures came out, I was old enough to go, yeah, that's not Ace. But, okay, so that, that's the kind of thing. So far, I mean, the songs are killer. What's the next ones?
Next 3, we got Naked City, What Makes the World Go Round, and Tomorrow.
Naked City, I think is the best song on the record.
Wow.
The other, I mean, and that's just I had the opportunity to see the Talisman play that live, which was pretty cool. In New Jersey, yes, and that was pretty awesome. But yeah, I have no complaints about this record. I'll sit back, talk amongst yourselves.
Well, I remember getting this record, and then we got home. My mom said, all right, we only got 5 minutes before we got to go someplace else. So you can go listen to one song. So I decided I'm going to go listen to Naked City because it has the word naked in the title.
Naked.
Yes.
So, but I snuck in the second song. So I listened to Naked City and What Makes the World Go Round are my first two songs I listened to on that record. And yeah, I think, but out of those three, I think Tomorrow is the underrated gem right there. I would love for them to find some way that Paul could somewhat warble through that. It would sound really cool.
Joey.
Yeah, once again, I love the next three songs, all of them great. What Makes the World Go Round is yeah, it's just incredible. Tomorrow is such an underrated song. Oh my God, what a great song. And the production on this for me, even though it sounds more like Dynasty, it fits the material more. So I like the production on this record. It is a pop record, whereas Dynasty, even though you had some poppier songs, I thought it was still more 70s Kiss and could have used an Eddie Kramer on it. This record, I like the production value on it because it does fit the material. And of course, the Unmasked era, my old Kiss tribute band, when I joined them, we did the Creatures era, and I forced them, we kind of talked amongst ourselves. I begged them, I wanted to do the Unmasked era strictly because I loved the Sydney show so much. And we would do the Sydney show, front to back, almost note for note.
And it's Poncia again, right?
Yeah.
So
yep.
They must have been pleased with Dynasty.
Yeah, they had a big hit. I Was Made for Loving You is a big hit.
Yeah.
He's got eight songwriting credits on this album.
Wow.
That's a lot. Sonny?
I love these three songs. This is one of those albums, though. If you got 20 Kiss Army fans together that really know the record, I think you get like 12 different favorite songs from this 20 people. Like, this is one of those albums, everybody's favorite song is a little bit different. Where you get to a Love Gun, you get to a Rock and Roll Over, there's 3 or 4 songs that get most of the votes. To me, I love these 3 songs, but none of these 3 songs are my favorite song on the record.
Wow. All right, next 3 songs.
Next 3, Two Sides of the Coin, She's So European, and Easy as It Seems.
I would say Two Sides of the Coin has probably some of the cheesiest lyrics that he has ever written, but I love him so much.
Choose one.
It's just this, rhyming girl with whirl, and it's just, but they're just so awesome though too. She's So European. That one, that I love at the end when you actually get the real demon coming through with his little ad lib. The yeah. Because otherwise, that whole song is all that Poppy Jean voice, but then he slips the demon in there a little bit. Easy as It Seems. I've seen Paul reference this song recently when talking about Soul Station, that this was his kind of nod to R&B, his R&B influences. So yeah, I can see that now that he mentions it.
Joey?
Yeah, Two Sides of the Coin, love it. Great Ace song. Once again, Ace shines on this record. The last 3 records, you have Ace's solo record, Dynasty, and this. He really came into his own. I understand the reasoning behind him wanting to break free of the band, and I get it. He was really reaching a new plateau, and even the demos he did after he left Kiss were more along these lines. There were very pop sensibilities, all keyboards and 80s, influence. So I understand where he was going with that. I loved Two Sides of the Coin. She's So European, one of the songs they did on that, I think was it in Europe they did those 3 promo videos? Is that where they did it?
I think so, yeah, like Germany.
They did Talk to Me, She's So European, and Is That You, right?
Yeah.
Love those. I'm so glad we have those to really represent this era. Even though the Sydney concert may be my favorite bootleg and favorite concert ever, you don't see them that well in that concert. It's not great. It's great footage, but you don't see them that well. Having the 3 live, videos that promo videos that they did from this era is incredible. And then Easy as It Seems, to me, is it, people always say I Was Made for Loving You is their disco song. This is their biggest disco song. This is way more disco.
Sonny.
Two sides of the coin. I like it. She's So European's okay to me. It's one of the weaker songs on the album, but I love the whole album, and Something's got to be the weaker song. Easy as It Seems, by far my favorite song on this record, and it's because of the R&B stuff, because I love Motown. And bringing that into this band and kind of Paul feeling his way around that. I remember when I first heard it, I'm like, oh my God, that's a great song. Like, that's a Kiss song, right? What's interesting about Joey, what you were talking about Ace here, Kiss is caught between a rock and a hard place here. If you try to tame him down and not let his head get too big, then you worry about you're going to lose him because he's not going to feel like he's completely vested, and you're going to lose him. He's going to want to do a solo career. But if you give him too much power, then he gets more and more and more confident, and you're going to lose him because he wants to do a solo career. Like, you're stuck. Yeah. So I guess I agree. You might as well get what you can get out of it, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I think you said it perfectly. They were stuck in between, in a hard place there. So because what do you do with Ace at this point? You can't hold him back. He's writing the best songs. He really is. He's writing all the hits. He's writing great stuff. You can't keep a leash on him. What do you do? And we know the story, when he left for Creatures, Paul begged him to stay and rode to his house, and they were begging him to stay. They wanted Ace to stay. The whole we threw Ace out of the band, that's not true.
Right. I read the next three.
All right, so last two, Torpedo Girl and You're All That I Want. Obviously, another great thing about this record, we get 11 songs on this record rather than the usual 9, that we've had in the past. So 11 songs. Is this the longest Kiss record up until this point?
Probably up until then, at least.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. I love Torpedo Girl. That bass line, boop, boop, boop. The song does not make any sense of being an Ace song to me. Makes no. I can't imagine Ace on a surfboard or barely even in the ocean. A pool, yes, with people kicking their feet, hey, look at the waves, that kind of thing. But I can't imagine him being in the ocean. But yeah, so I've said it before 50 times already in the past 10 minutes. This is a great album. Jared.
I would probably put Torpedo Girl at the bottom of the list, but like I said, I love all the songs, but if something has to be at the bottom, it would probably be that. Of course Ace played bass on that, but when Ace did the vault with Gene busted into that bass line. Like, he can play it. It's not like he can't. He probably didn't feel the need to play on it because it was already there, probably.
Yeah.
You're All That I Want. I always love that one, especially when what was the song on Revenge? They kind of brought back part of that. Was it on Take It Off or one of those songs where they kind of rip off the riff of You're All That
that's
I Want.
Take It Off, I think. Yep.
Wow, interesting. I never caught that. Joey.
Love Torpedo Girl. All the Ace stuff, to me, again, great songs. That's what gravitated me towards this album. Around this time period, Ace was really becoming my favorite. When I first started loving Kiss, even though I was drawn to Peter as a drummer, Ace was kind of my favorite member. You're All That I Want is probably for me my weakest song on the album. Like it, never loved it.
Sonny.
I can't believe I'm going to agree with Joey.
Oh, wow.
Like, I'll listen to the whole record. There's no issue. If I happen to get up to go to the bathroom or go get a drink, I might lift the record right before You're All That I Want starts. It's okay. To me, it's the weakest song on the record.
I just thought it was cool. They played it on the European tour too. Anytime you can hear Unmasked songs live.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
Pretty cool. All right, so that's 2 of 3. What's left, Sonny?
The Dumpster Fire.
I don't know. All right, The Elder.
It's on Highway 680 somewhere.
All right, so this is the record that they was going to let everybody know how smart they are, right? That was the thing. They wrote a record for the critics.
Yeah.
And inside is the whole story. There's like a story here. Did you guys know that at the auction, the Big Kiss auction that they had years ago, they actually sold the script for the Elder movie? Did you guys know that?
Yeah, I think I remember something about that.
Did it come with a banana peel and other things that were in the garbage can around it, or?
You're so evil. I was amazed when I looked through the book of all the items that were for sale that there really was an Elder script. That shows they had big plans. I understand, how some people feel about this record, and so many people have decided that they love it, except for Sonny freaking Pooney. So I can't get it in the sleeve. Joey, the first time you heard this record, were you freaked out or?
So I tell a big story about this in my book. So in my book, this was the first record that I ever bought with my own money. I was introduced to Kiss a couple years earlier, went to the Dynasty tour, inherited a couple of my brother's records, like Dynasty and Love Gun and Double Platinum mainly. And then, I would always try to go to my local mall whenever I had money. Again, I'm 6 and 7 years old at this time. And, I would always try to get as much back catalog as I could. I was still missing a few records. So I would always sift through the records, see if I could buy something. I had enough money to buy something that day. And I saw a new record in the bin, and it was music from the Elder. Didn't know if it was a real Kiss record. No pictures of Kiss on it. Of course, I saw the Kiss logo. Had no idea if it was really Kiss or not. I grew up in Manhattan too. My grandparents lived there, and I would buy bootleg records of Kiss back then too. So I was worried that this was actually a bootleg and not a real Kiss record. So my brother recommended, why don't you buy the cassette? I had my Walkman with me. Buy the cassette, pop it in, see if it sounds real. If it's a real record, great. If it's not, you return it quick. So that's exactly what I did. I bought the cassette, popped it in, heard it, loved it, fell in love with it.
Jared.
Yeah, I think I got this one for Christmas of that year, and yeah, I loved it. I loved it right off the bat. But yeah, I was 7 or 8 years old, something like that. So they could do no wrong. It was, I didn't really get it, but it was new Kiss, so I loved it.
I remember bringing my mom over to my room and going, "Listen to this. You know who this is, Mom? This is Kiss." And she was like, "What? That is Kiss?" And I was like, "Yeah."
What song did you play her?
Just
Odyssey.
a Boy was on.
Yeah, I would have played Odyssey for my mom probably.
All right, it's the inevitable. Sonny.
You always have to remember what the time frame is by the time I hear this. So by the time I hear this, it's 87, 88.
Wow, that's right. I always forget that about you.
So this isn't Rat. It's not Scorpions. It's not The Crew. It's not Cinderella. It's like, what the hell is this? And by the time I hear this, I've already heard Crazy Nights. I've heard Asylum. I've heard Animalize in my Kiss fandom. So this was one of the last records I got that I didn't have to finish off my collection. And when I got it, I think I got to halfway through Just a Boy and tossed the cassette out of the window. And then somebody got it for me for Christmas on CD, and I tossed the CD out the window because I gave it like one more shot, and I think I got to Dark Light, and I tossed it out the window. That was my move. There's one on 680, and I think there's one on 880 somewhere. I don't know. Some homeless guy has both of them probably.
He sold those things for booze.
Yeah, probably.
What about the cover, guys?
I would have took any of these pictures I have that are from that era. I would have took any of them over that.
It didn't do him any favors, that's for sure. I mean, I'm fine with it. I get it, but that was not the best marketing at all.
Yeah, I mean, same way. We discussed this a while back, Joe. I think we had it on one of our previous episodes. Like, what would my fantasy elder cover be? Remember, we kind of doctored it up with, them sitting in some kind of fantasy
With
picture
dragons.
with dragons and castles and, all. I think that's the way they should have went. This is right around, the time of Dungeons and Dragons and, Clash of the Titans and Dragon Slayer movie and all that stuff. Dio and all that stuff is around this time frame. They should have went that route. That's the story they're telling anyway. It's a fantasy story. Give us a crazy fantasy painting along those lines. And Frank Franzetta, one of those crazy, beautiful fantasy paintings with fire and dragons and castles. I think honestly, I really think it would have made all the difference in the world if that was the cover rather than that. And I would say even so far that it would have been a hit.
Wow. And Sonny says, ain't no cover going to save this record.
Nope.
At the very least, put all the band members sitting at those chairs in the gatefold. That would have been something worthwhile. Open that up. Oh shit, there they are. They look awesome now.
You would have had to patch. You would have had to patch the picture together because when Paul and Gene are there, Ace doesn't show up. Eric forgot what day it was, so Eric sits in the chair. We'll just transpose that picture. Ace, just look. We'll have somebody hold you up, and we'll just take their hands out. We'll brush them out.
And that was one of my biggest gripes with this record. As a kid, being obsessed with Peter Criss, I'm looking at the liner notes, and it says Kiss. When it always said Kiss. Gene Simmons, Paul Stanley, Ace Frehley, Eric Carr. I was like, whoosh, who the hell is Eric Carr? And where's his picture? Does he look like Peter? Does he look different? I even had the thought of maybe he doesn't even have makeup on. I don't know. And I didn't get to see Eric until after Creatures came out. So I think it's such a missed opportunity. They have a new member. How are they not marketing that?
Yes. Let's talk about the another deal where the songs are right on the back, but on the record they're mixed up. The label made them change that because they wanted, I guess, the oath first.
Right.
But it messed up the whole story. Now, if you buy this version, you get the record in the correct order. Not that it matters now, but because you just pop in the CD and it's right now, I think, anyway. But
I cannot believe that Paul allowed that album cover because that totally makes it feel like Ace is the leader of this band.
Why? Why do you? Oh, you mean that album? Oh, you mean that album cover? Yeah. Yeah, but what is that, Joe? Is that released where?
Japanese.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think? I mean, again, I think you guys give them too much credit.
Paul,
I don't even think Paul even knows that album even exists.
Still doesn't know it exists.
Exactly.
And this is just a piece of paper that they put in the record.
Oh, really? And then it's
kind of like the
record?
White Album. Yeah. Yeah. Except when you get inside and you drop the needle, just a boy comes first instead of the oath.
So what do you want me to do? You want me to read the track listing of the release or how it should have been?
How about the way it should have been?
So we got Fanfare, Just a Boy, Odyssey.
Sonny, you go first.
Yeah, Sonny, go first.
Sonny, go ahead.
Okay, I'll go first. What I'll do is I'll give you my favorite out of the groups of three. How about that? In this three, it's Odyssey. And here's my problem. Part of the problem is with this album for me. I don't like the musical theater vocal phrasing. Never have. I barely let Dio get away with it. I kind of let Bruce Dickinson get away with it because he does it sometimes. He doesn't do it sometimes. But for the most part, unless it's a female trying to do it and can pull it off, that hero, I'm done. Like I can't do it. And that's part of what turns me off on this record. But out of this three, Odyssey's the winner for me.
I definitely didn't like Odyssey when I was a kid, but you know, if you listen to the demo of that, it's almost exactly the same too. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
It's with as much difference there was with Is That You from the demo, Odyssey is almost exactly the same, which is weird that it just shoehorned into the story somehow. But out of those three, I would probably choose Just a Boy as my favorite.
Yeah, for me, it's a shame because I think Odyssey's a really good song. If Paul had the range he had during Crazy Nights with songs like My Way and I'll Fight Hell to Hold You, he could have sang Odyssey full voice, but instead he does that falsetto, you know, the Bee Gee thing that was kind of in back then, and it just doesn't work. But, you know, again, I'm looking at The Elder, I think, differently than just a listener. I'm looking at it as, okay, if this is really a soundtrack to a movie, yeah, these three songs work. It's kind of an intro. It's you're seeing the characters and the credits, and you know, it kind of slowly goes into Just a Boy, and you're meeting this boy. So I get the whole concept of this record.
This is probably the greatest comment we've ever gotten on our show ever by David Donnelly. It says, I really like most of The Elder and always did. However, where Odyssey is concerned, I would rather listen to a high quality looped recording of my grandmother's last breath than hear that one again.
Oh my God, David.
Damn, that's dark and fucked up, dude. Hey, you know what? What about the Friday appearance? You know, they didn't tour for this, but they were on Fridays, right? And they did some live stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know Fridays. I mean, I knew Fridays existed at the time, but I wasn't aware that Kiss was on it at the time, so I didn't see that till years later. But Solid Gold, that was my jam. I watched that every week, and I saw that Kiss was going to be on it. We got our first VCR that year, so the very first VHS tape that came with the VCR, the first thing that I recorded ever was Kiss on Solid Gold.
Wow, that's
Nice.
awesome. Do you still have that? I'll buy it.
Yeah, it's only a 3-hour tape. They were chintzy on their free one.
Whoa.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay. Where were we? So Sonny gave us all right. So
three tracks.
We went in the wrong order. That's why I'm all messed up. Okay, go ahead. Next
It's not
three
the only
tracks.
reason you're messed up, but yes, cool.
So again, to me, then this story starts getting interesting. It starts to get dark. You got Only You, Under the Rose, and Dark Light.
And I like these songs. I like these three. The guitar sounds great, and I have a hard time having problems with The Elder just because as I got older and even when I was a kid, I really totally could see what they were trying to do. And I want to give them an A for effort, just being different again, not playing by rules. It's like, damn, I like AC/DC, but I can't listen to that every day. Well, where at least I could grab The Elder and I'm going to get something completely different than Dynasty or Unmasked. Yes. Or you throw on Love Gun, you're going to get something completely different than the first Kiss record. It's one of the best things about them. Sonny.
I will tell you the same thing I tell people that work for me. Do not confuse effort with results. I don't give a shit about there's no grades for effort, in my opinion. But anyway, yes, I have kids. And yes, they did grow up okay.
You look at your kids. It doesn't matter that you got a triple.
Yeah,
I wanted a home run.
Yeah. Dark Light is listenable. The other two are not even listenable. Not even close. And I've given this album a shot 4 separate times in the last 2.5 years. There isn't anything that I feel about it at 50, 51 years old that's any different than when I was 25.
Only You is awesome, man. Jared, tell Sonny why he's wrong.
I was gonna say, I remember when Cher put out her version of Only You. That's not really gonna help anything. And then didn't Doro did a version of Only You too? So I don't know.
It's not good either.
Gene had a boner for presenting that song to people for some reason. Of those three, I would probably put Dark Light third. I like Under the Rose. I just think it's a cool riff, and I'm assuming since Eric's got a songwriting credit, he probably just wrote that riff is what I'm guessing, because that
Yeah, he did.
It just sounds like a riff that a drummer would create. But yeah, that'd be my pick out of those three.
Yeah, I love all three of these. Again, I'm a big fan of this record. Again, if I'm going story wise, you have Only You, the preaching of that he's the savior, right? You have Under the Rose, that he's got to take this oath, right? In so many words, that of this order of the rose. And then you have Dark Light, don't succumb to the darkness, and all this other stuff. So I'm following this story in my mind like it's a fantasy movie. I'm a big fantasy buff. I love all those movies. I just watched The Never-Ending Story with my kids the other day, and I can actually see this soundtrack inside of that movie. And I was actually even going to maybe put together a little edit of like Just a Boy and stuff. I'm going to do it later this week for you guys. It's going to be good. Trust me.
That would be wonderful.
You'll love it.
Next three.
So then probably to me, my favorite three is World Without Heroes, The Oath, Mr. Blackwell.
I love two of those three songs. Mr. Blackwell doesn't really do it for me. I don't really like that one. And because I don't really know a story behind it, I'm like, who the hell is Mr. Blackwell? I actually looked it up one time, and I think I was like, I remember looking up in like an encyclopedia or something who Mr. Blackwell is. And maybe they're talking about this person really, because it's such a odd thing to be taught. It doesn't feel like it's part of the record. And I looked it up, and a Mr. Blackwell apparently was some kind of a guy who made a list of best dressed, worst dressed. And then when I listened to the song, I'm like, maybe they're talking about that guy. Probably not though. But the other songs are great. Jared?
Yeah, World Without Heroes, cool. I remember they did the video for that one on Solid Gold, so I watched that continuously over and over again. But the Oath is so good. You were there and saw them play live, and just, I mean, did you go to the first show or the second show? Do you usually go to?
Okay, so I was not on Kiss Cruise 5.
Oh, you weren't on the one where they played it.
They did it the next year though.
Yeah, they did it again. So that
I will tell you, I have the set list from the show though, where it says The Oath on there. Mm-hmm. Totally amazing, because one of my buddies was the sound man for that night, and he saved it for me. And like 2 years later, he's like, "Oh, I always forget I had this for you." I was like, shut the hell up. This is awesome. I
always go to the second show. So I watched the show one in the atrium and just to get spoiled, I guess. But dude, when they played that, I mean, there was lots of people in tears when they played that one.
Yeah. Sonny.
My favorite out of these three would have to be The Oath, because it's the least listenable. This Mr. Blackwell, dude, I'm telling you, it's the same as, Living in Sin at the Holiday Inn. He must be best friends with Mr. Make-Believe and shit like that, because it's the same crap that is on his solo album, and I don't like his solo album either. And that's part of the problem. So, there you go.
Wow. Joey.
Again, obviously, I have completely conflicting opinions as Moron Pooney. Again, the storyline wise, you're talking World Without Heroes. They're crying out for what would happen if we didn't have a hero to save us. The Oath, of course, he's taking the oath to become a member of the Rose, right? And the only thing about The Oath to me, I love the song. I wish the production was a little bit better on it. I hear, even though there's double bass on that, you barely hear it. I wish it sounded like Under the Gun or King of the Mountain. I wish I could really hear the production value on that. I think that's the one spot on the record I think they flubbed production-wise. And then, Mr. Blackwell, I disagree. Mr. Blackwell is the villain of this story, and it's an eerie song. I think it's so much fun. Clooney just doesn't have the intellect. I mean, he's a Cowboy fan.
That's exactly what it is.
He's a half an idiot. What are you going to do?
That's exactly what it is. I'm too stupid for this album.
What do you guys what must Eric Carr have been thinking as they were recording this album? You think that he's going, all right, here I am. Is this Ezrin's fault too? You think that can you put this on Ezrin for not looking at them and going, guys, what is this? You know, or do you think that he was just yes sirring? And I mean,
well, he was coming off the wall and thinking his shit didn't stink, that he could take any turd and polish it and make it become a hit. I think
Partially, probably he liked the idea. I think you get a Kramer involved in this thing. He goes, "What the guys? Drop all that shit except for one song and come back with different songs because we can't record this."
Yeah, they would have never listened to him though. Don't you agree? They would have said, "All right, next." So Eric Carr, let's get back to him. Do you think that he was like, all right, I'm getting paid. I got a Porsche. I'm going to make $1 million. I'll whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Or do you think?
The only story I remember hearing about that was when he brought the Under the Rose in, and then they like recorded it, and then he's like crying on the phone to his mom. It's like they made it all churchy, something like that. So
I think Eric. I mean, obviously, I think Eric was a little disappointed in the direction here. I think he probably wanted a more straightforward record. But again, you know, the whole thing of Ezrin's fault and this fault. That's a revisionist, way of looking at it. I don't think you can look at history like that. I think at the time, just because it wasn't a commercial success, that to me doesn't mean it was a failure. A failure to me doesn't mean monetary failure. Or I think they set out to do what they did, and they did it really well. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like it, and it wasn't a success. I hate that they shit on it years later, because you could bet your ass when they were done with it and they had that listening party that we hear so much about, they were proud of this thing. And just because people said it sucked, now they hate it. That's what I hate about Kiss.
Well, in that VH1 documentary, Ezrin said that, Ace wanted to do a rock album, and he says that Ace was totally right. They should have done a rock album.
Yeah, I think with Eric specifically, if it's just like any other job, he's in the honeymoon stage right now. He's just happy he's in Kiss. Now, somebody asked him in 1985, what'd you think about The Elder? What's he supposed to say? It didn't sell.
Right.
So, of course, he's going to say revisionist stuff, right? But he's in the honeymoon stage. Shit, he's got Kiss songs on an album with his name on them. The guy's happy as shit. Now, he might not have been happy that they changed the song. I totally agree with what Jared has to say about that. Like, you have a certain way you wrote the song and it changed after you get other people involved in it. But in the end, he's in Kiss and you have to kind of live with that because it's not your band. But if they don't do Creatures and they don't do Look It Up and they end up going down this road and dying on this vine, which ultimately they would have died on this vine probably, then maybe you get them to, in 83, 84 say, oh, well, it just didn't work out the way we wanted it to, blah, blah, blah. But I think he's in the honeymoon stage here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, what's left?
So Escape from the Island and I.
And Finale.
And Finale, yes. Of course, Finale.
The 3 best songs on this album. The best song, Escape from the Island. I is number 3 on this list for me because at least I can tolerate it. And then the last fucking song on the album that ends it without any vocal part. I love it.
I'm not a fan of I. I did freak out when they played it live because I'd never had the opportunity to see them play that song live. I don't know. There's just something about "And the Balls to Stand Alone." That song does not fit in a sci-fi movie from the 80s, to me. And I don't know. To me, it's just another. You can do it, guys. You can do it no matter what. You just go for it. You can do it. Yeah, man. That's just I can't handle it. Jared.
Yeah, Escape from the Island was always a standout one just because it's so rocking. And then I mean, it was on that Solid Gold thing, so I watched that all the time. And like I was telling you guys before we went live, that I played it for the first time in my band last night, and it was a lot of fun to learn how to play. And I kept on trying to figure out why, because they replaced Eric Carr with Alan Schwartzberg as drummer on that one. I mean, it's definitely a challenge to learn. I mean, I just can't really exactly figure out what part he would have had problems with, other than in that snapping part. Just when it comes back in with those triplets, that timing is a little tricky coming back in after doing those dun dun duns. That maybe they're just like, all right, we're spending way too much money on the studio time to get you to learn this, so let's just bring Alan in and do it. But it might have just been for that one part. I don't know, because he plays it pretty much like it should be on Fridays.
If you watch the Friday thing, during the da da da, he's clicking his stick, so he's going ba da da tap 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 ba da da da. And I always thought that was interesting because the first time I saw it, I was like, clearly it's snapping.
Yeah, what I did when we played it, I made a loop, so I've got like a little pad and just started that
nice
thing going on when we were playing that, because I tried to do it on my own and it was just not happening, like playing it with my foot on like a little pedal. But so I just made a loop for it at the right tempo.
Cool.
Yeah, I think the thing with Eric, I think we overthink it. I think we listen to Kiss's lies, just like we hear the story of, why Mark Slaughter was the singer on the second record. The whole story of his demo tape was lost in the mail. He didn't write the phone number. Bullshit. Robert Fleischman left. That's why Mark Slaughter's the second singer on Invasion. So same thing like this. I think they probably had him in the studio for another reason, and they probably laid the track down with him. Ezrin probably just laid it down with him. He was comfortable with him, and they just did it. I don't think they thought anything of it. I know there's also a story of Ezrin wanting to double the track, and to double a drum track is a little bit tricky. So I think they had Alan in the studio, or they called him in one day to do the track with them or to do a demo. And it came out good and they kept it. I think it's as easy as that. I don't think it was. I would bet my life Eric didn't ever try to actually record this track.
Yeah, it could be right then.
Here's a comment from Glenn Bennett. Sonny, I know you're not a fan of the album, but how did you feel about the image change that came with The Elder? Looking back, now they looked super cool. Pirate Gene. Arr. If he'd had a patch on his eye, that would have been awesome.
Yeah. I thought Paul and Gene were okay. I think Ace looks outstanding at this point, and I think Eric looks really good too. So all of the pictures I've seen in all of those magazines that I've got, the picture that you got on that album there, Paul could look good sometimes, and sometimes the colors are a little off. Gene just doesn't look as menacing as he normally does. But I think Ace looks great at Elder. I think Ace looks great in every Creatures pictures I've seen. Like Ace's look there, well, then I get it. It's like the unitard or whatever. But I think it looks really good.
Do you think that they should have put a parrot on Stanley the parrot on his shoulder? What could the parrot have done? Live, they're playing, and the little parrot's like eating crackers, and that would be pretty cool.
Joe, I gotta tell you, it's so funny when you said with I'm in such on the opposite page with you. And again, that's why Kiss fans are the best, because how can we love the same band and we think completely different on something? Is one of my favorite Kiss songs ever. It's probably because it was on my first Kiss album that I bought as a kid. That message in that song, holy shit. I lived by those lyrics. I would play them daily. Whenever I was struggling with something or trying to not, make something, or, if I doubted myself, I would put that song on and they'd tell me I had the balls, and I believed them. God damn it.
But look-wise, like I'm looking at what Joe has behind him with the Spirit of 76 poster, right? And I've always loved that poster. But that poster I got behind the cloud, which is from Elder into Creatures on that, like, It's not really a purple background. It's more like a red purple background, right? When, well, you can see the poster right there.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that poster. I like it better than the Spirit poster because they look
Wait,
awesome.
which ones?
Picture.
Which ones? Oh, I know the one. You mean the? Oh yeah, that looks amazing.
Yeah, I love that. Right, because Gene's got the axe base and
Yeah.
Ace is leaning over. I like that picture better than I like Spirit of 76.
That's Creatures era, but I don't think that's
it's Elder
that's
into Creatures. Yeah.
Because Eric has his creature outfit on.
Yeah,
I have like two different versions of that poster. I have one where does yours actually say Kiss on it?
No.
There's one that has the logo and one that doesn't. It's really weird, but yeah, that's a great poster. I remember walking into my buddy Doug's house. He had a black light in his room and he had it on, and their faces like popped, like that black light blue that white face turns, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
This I have it as a pin. Look.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah,
love that picture.
Yeah, it's great. There's like 20 different versions of it too. There's some where Ace is squatting or Paul's squatting or Gene has his leg across Ace or all those things. Pretty cool.
But that photo shoot where, for lack of a better word, I'm going to say they're socially distancing. You remember that photo shoot? That's the Elder shoot, right? Where I can't remember if Ace is in the front, but they're all kind of away from each other.
Yeah.
They're socially distancing technically, right? I love those pictures. Those photo shoots are pretty good.
Yeah.
Just something about this whole era to me is fascinating. It almost because most Kiss fans hate it, and it's the forgotten era. They didn't tour. They didn't barely do any TV appearances. You don't know much about it. Even photo shoot wise, you don't see a lot of stuff in this era. So that's why even on the bootleg episode we did a couple weeks ago, when I showed the Elder collection, media collection, I love this era. I wish the three albums lined up a little different. I wish it would have lined up Unmasked, Elder, Creatures. I always think of those as the three sister records, and I think of Dynasty and the solo albums kind of as the sister records. I know it doesn't work with the 3's, but era-wise, I always thought of Unmasked, Elder, Creatures. And Unmasked, Elder, Creatures might be my favorite era.
Well, there you go.
And on that note,
all right,
you will never see Joey again.
Listen, very important. I know that we're about to are all about to go and watch the Super Bowl now, except for Jared, because the Super Bowl doesn't start for an extra hour, and for Sonny it doesn't start for 3 hours because they're all behind. But it was a joke.
Yeah, I was confused there too.
Our shows usually aren't this long. This is just there's too much to talk about with these records. Normally we do an hour. So if you're new to the show, just enjoy it. We're gonna finish out the records, and then we do about an hour. So normally we won't take up too much of your day. Jared, thank you, man, for being Jody today.
Cool. Yeah, anytime someone can't make it, let me know.
Oh, absolutely. Sonny, you got anything to add?
Congrats, Jared, on the win. Good to see you again. And everybody, thanks for listening or watching, however you're consuming this right now.
Absolutely. Joey.
Again, always fun to talk Kiss. Pleasure to have Jared on to kick Sonny's ass, just like Sonny loses every week.
Yeah. Good to meet you too, Joey.
And you know what I'm going to say. We love podcasting. We love Kiss podcasting. You're going to hear the commercials for all the ones that we love right after this. Like Sonny hates the Elder, there are quite a few Kiss podcasts that I can't stand. Right after this, in 3, 2, 1, peace.